Okay, I'm doing a quick video on this early Saturday morning for a good client and friend of mine. He trusted me enough to send me this really expensive TFL Cheetah boat. It is a bear haul. I templated this boat for him. It's now available on the site. If you have a Cheetah and you want to get it wrapped, if you race, I've got what you need. Back here, hanging off the machine, freshly cut, is the graphic kit he had me make for him. This is the Ripper theme. Typically, it has the skull in the front, but he didn't want that. Instead, he wanted his race number. And I also put the Ripper logo on the back for him, just as a thank you for him trusting me with this boat. Typically, that logo on the back isn't included on kits, so if you see it, don't expect it on your kit. I apologize. That was a one-time run for him. So, like most of my boat graphic installs, I'm going to go over my tools really quickly. Again, all this stuff is in the included instructions. I have 99% isopropyl alcohol. I have 26 fluid ounces of water with about 6 to 8 drops of dish detergent. And like I say in all my videos, we're going to do a soapy water install. A little tip is, as you're squeegeeing, and we'll go over this again, I promise, if you hear a snap, crackle, and pop as you're squeegeeing the water out, you need to add some more soap to your mix. I'll circle back and hit that again when we're actively installing. I have a felt tip squeegee. You get them on Amazon. I will put all the links to these things in the description. This is just an El Cheapo Wagner heat gun I got from Home Depot. I also have somewhere, you can use this one, I have a new sharp X-Acto knife, and I will keep it there for safekeeping. Okay, let's get this started. I do have this sitting on some cloths so I don't scratch the bottom of the hull. There was a little chip in the paint here, and I actually touched that up with some clear coat and leveled it out. A lot of the TFL boats that I've come across, I'm not sure, it might just be the process they use, but they seem to have a flake here and there. I'm not sure if this happened during shipping. I don't know. But I did repair it with some automotive clear coat just to level it out. But the graphic's going to cover that, so we're going to be good to go there. First thing you want to do is you want to prep the surface. I'm going to take my isopropyl alcohol, and I'm going to go over the entire boat. These cloths are Amazon Basic lint-free microfiber cloths. Again, I will put that link down in the description for you. Now I have to really go over this here because I templated this boat. There was some vinyl on it, and because of that, it could be a little bit of residue left behind. So I'm just going to take my time, make sure I hit every spot. While I do this, one of the things you want to do on your boat, I'm not going to do this because this isn't my boat and I really don't want to mess with the portals on the side. I'm going to trim around them when I put the graphic on. But back here, I no longer cut the holes out for portals on most boats. And the reason for this is I've had customers contact me and say, the holes don't line up, the holes don't line up. Other customers say the holes line up. So I've come to the conclusion that those are hand drilled with some kind of template at the factory, and they're not precise every single time. So I think the easiest way is for me to just not cut the holes for portals and antennas moving forward. And you remove them first and put the graphic down and then reinstall. When you go to reinstall, don't twist the part on the outside where the graphic is, because you can twist the vinyl. Twist it from the back and let the portal compress down. Hold the portal with your finger while you're ratcheting from the back so it presses down and doesn't spin on you, okay? I'm happy with this. I actually prepped it before I got on video just to save some time. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to shake up my soapy water mix, and I'm going to liberally spray it down everywhere. The first thing we're going to do on this specific boat is we are going to do the main top piece. And the reason I like to do that is because once you get that main top piece centered, everything sort of flows. Not every boat is like this. I have a video for most boats, graphic kits that I sell. Follow the video. Some boats are just going to be different, and I'll have you start in a different spot. But for this one, we're going to start here. As you can see, I got the kit hanging off my top machine here, just so it's out of the way, because this is a huge boat, and I don't have a huge table in here. There is a warning right here to let you know about the portals that we discussed. My hands are super clean. That's important so that you do not get grease and oils on your investment graphic kit. So I am going to pull this part down here. Now, if you're working on a table, you can do the same thing. It'll just hang just like this. No problem. I am going to actually pre-spray this down a little bit here so that my fingers don't stick. Okay? Then I'm going to pull this back. One of the reasons I sprayed this down is because my machines have heaters on them. They are on because this just got cut. And that makes the adhesive really, really aggressive on me. And I don't really want it aggressive. So I'm just going to bring this over here. You're going to need to watch that you don't let the adhesive parts touch and lay on each other. So the first thing you want to do is you want to spray it down with the soapy water so that it does not stick to itself. Like if you flip this over, once you spray it down, you can let it lay. It will not stick, okay? So you're probably saying, well, why do I care if it sticks? I'll just peel it back. Well, these products are not typical automotive vinyl wraps. This material is extremely aggressive, and it's designed for specifically RC, motocross, things like that. It's got a very thick layer of adhesive on it. It's like a fly trap. Once you bond this and pull it off of something, especially this specific material, it'll leave a distortion in that nice, even adhesive layer that lays down at the factory like a clear coat on a car. Got everything sprayed. I'm going to flip it over just like this. You can see just how well it immediately lines up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clean up my workspace. I have plenty of time. This water's not going anywhere. And I'm going to reset the camera so you can see perfect. Okay. I believe I have the camera in a really good spot here so you can see. It's already wanting to stick a little bit. So I'm just going to pull it back and I'm going to spray it down some more. Not sure why these bottles don't work like they should. Something as simple as a spray bottle anymore. Can't get them to work and just spray some soapy water. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox there. What I want to do is I want to line up this edge. And the reason is that is in the center of the boat. So if we get this edge justified, again, more soapy water back here. You can hear it sticking. Really aggressive stick today. Must be the weather. So we're going to lift this up and we're going to leave about a 1/16 of an inch. You can see it there. See it? Between this rolled edge. I actually talked to my client about how this works. We don't want graphics this thick to sit right on a rolled edge. You will not get them to go down over that rolled edge. They're way too thick. So what you're gaining in protection, so if you ram a tree branch or you hit a rock, the graphics should take the impact without digging through the thick lamination to protect the print and your boat underneath. When you do that, you sacrifice not being able to go over these rolled edges. They may stay temporarily while you have the heat applied, but eventually they'll just want to come back up. Now, if I took it down, way down, and there was 4 inches of real estate down there that I could have it grabbed, yeah, it'll stay over that rolled edge, but we don't have that. So we need to, keep it back, and this is engineered and test cut over and over again to make sure that most of this will line up fine. Now, is every edge going to be perfect? No, because this is vinyl and you're going to heat it up and it expands and contracts. If you're down in Arizona, you know, this week, I think it's going to be 110 degrees. If you're out in your garage trying to do this, you're going to have an easier time expanding this by working with it. Things are going to change. But in a controlled environment, 75 degrees in here, when I did my test cuts, I got the consistency that I needed. We're going to lift this up. I'm just going to take my hand, again, they're clean, and I'm going to spread this around. You can see there's some bubbles there. That's a good thing. Now what I want to do, you can see there's on the Cheetah here, there's a beveled edge that goes down around here. The graphic is going to sit right, if you took this quarter round here, it's not even a quarter round, but you know what I mean. You want to split the difference. So just back off what you would perceive to be the center axis of that ridge. And you're going to just lift it up and lay it down until you're happy with it, okay? So I'm going to go through, I'm going to do this without trying to be too verbose here, talking over everything. And then I will tell you the decisions that I made at the end and why. Okay, I mean, I really didn't have to do much here. This was pretty good. I can see right now that I'm going to need to, this probably contracted, this piece here in the center, because I cooled it down with this cool water. And it came in about a 1/16 to an 1/8. So I want to try and stretch it up here a little bit, just because I'm picky and I want to do the best job I can for my client. So we need to get this fixed down. I'm happy with everything from here up. I did look back here to the back. Things line up basically perfect, but I don't need to worry about that right now. We need to get a fixed down point. Looking at the front here, I did leave more on the front because this edge is more round. You're going to hit things. There's water splashing up, and I want the graphic back off that edge so that it has firm, flat real estate to sit down on. My client did question me on that, why that didn't come up, and this is 15 years now of experience. When I template these, I do my best to give you the longevity that you need. Sometimes that trumps the aesthetic aspect. I'm really liking this space right here. I probably could move it up just a hair, but the thing is that back here, I'm right on the edge. So if I move this up, I'm going to overhang. So I'm finding that happy middle there. I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to warm this up. Not hot, just warm. So you can see I got my hand here. See how now it's starting to burn my hand. So you can kind of see how long it takes or how much heat I'm applying by extrapolating, you know, my hand. Okay? We're just warming it up to soften things. I'm going to take my squeegee. I'm going to soap it up a little bit so it slides for me. I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to go to about there. No bubbles. I can see the water waving out. And we're going to go to there. Now, I do want to give this a little tug here and stretch this out just a little bit. To do that, I'm going to spray it down again. I'm going to heat this side so that I don't evaporate that soapy water on the back side. Okay? And I'm going to give it a little pull. I need some more heat, I can tell. Okay? And I'm hoping to get maybe a 1/16 out of it. Yep. About all I'm going to get. I'm going to pinch it with my hand. You may not need to do this part. It just depends on your climate. Warming it up so that it doesn't contract back. So now I'm going to overlap and I'm going to come down just like that. We're going to get the center axis down. Just like that. I'm going to bring my heat in. Use my finger in these tighter to get areas. This area is now good and we can focus on working our way out, okay? I'm still happy with the placement of this section right here. So I'm gonna warm it up. I'm gonna respray for some slidability, and I'm gonna work my way out. Shortest distance to get the water out is this way now. It's not all the way this way. And we're down here, so there's my overlap and out. The last thing you wanna do is put this squeegee in the middle of a water pocket and go out. See the water coming out there? See it there? Hopefully, the 4K is picking it up. Beautiful. Probably can see right there was where that paint chipped off, and I cleared it. That's why it's a little bit of a different color. Thankfully, the graphic is going to go over that. I got a little bit too overzealous there. We'll do the same thing on this side. Just warming it up. I'm going to overlap, 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 and out, overlap, whoops, and down. And there we go. Right there is a pocket I missed. There it came out. There we go. Beautiful. And of course, you can hold this up against the light and see there are no air bubbles. Now, while I'm here, you also didn't hear any snap, crackle, and popping. That tells me my soapy water mix was good. As you're squeegeeing this, and I promised we'd circle back to this, if you hear snap, crackle, pop, you don't have enough soap. And if you don't have enough soap, you're going to get water and air pockets stuck behind, okay? Couple other tips. If you just painted your boat, you need to let it outgas for days and days. If the acetones and the other chemicals that are outgassing that have the suspended color solids in them in the paint aren't completely done evaporating, it will bubble and blister your graphics. What was the other thing I wanted to touch? Yes, if you did a chrome add-on, my chrome products and some of my neon products have air egress technology. There will be a yellow card inside your package letting you know that process is a little bit different. I'm not going to dive deep into that. This is not a chrome product, but it's just a little bit different of a technique, okay? So if you're watching this and you have the Cheetah and you've got a chrome product, realize your process is going to be slightly different, and the yellow card, I'll put it up in the corner of the screen so you can see it, will cover that. Let's get this boat turned around like this. I need to reset my cloths underneath here. So I'll just lift this up, just like this. We'll go like that. And then I'll lift this one up. There we go. Let's see how we're starting to stick here. So we definitely need some more soapy water, like that. And we'll do the same with this. Again, watch these TFLs. The paint, I don't know if it's a gel coat or what it is, but it tends to chip when you pull the graphics off. Now, if I were to take my hand and set this down into this valley, follow it up, it's going to shift this graphic in this way, an eighth heavy too much. It's not the way you want to do it. What we want to do, and the way these are cut, is you're going to ignore this valley so you can see I can put my finger underneath there. And we're going to get the back down first. So I'm paying attention to this rolled edge. I'm feeling that rolled edge with my thumb. Really, you just got to get this edge here aligned, and you're going to land where I want you to on that rolled edge. So you don't need to worry about it. I'm a little short back here, and I think the way to handle that is I'm going to spray it down because I'm evaporating. I'm going to stretch out this narrow spot here, like so, and pull it back. There we go. I like that. I'm a little, yep, I need to reset. I need to go out this way just a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to hold it because I'm happy with that position. And by warming it back up like this, as I covered the topic before, it'll keep it from contracting back while you have some time to grab your squeegee and pull that water out, just like that. Let's get the soapy water while we're here underneath that valley. Let me pull the boat back so you can see. There we go. Gonna help myself out by warming it up, especially in this valley, because now we're stretching that vinyl a half an inch down to get it in the valley. Stay straight so your edge here stays clean. There it is. Warming it up again because it's freshly put down. It's not completely adhered, and the warmth will keep it from popping back up on us, okay? And then we're going to go over it again. Spray this down for some slidability. Did you hear that? When I pulled right there, that's indicative of vinyl that's a little bit too hot. So now it's cooled. You don't hear it anymore. See? When you hear it go and like that, like a machine gun, and your squeegee is kind of sticking, your vinyl's a little too hot. It won't hurt anything. Just give it a second to cool down. Okay, so now we're going to work to the other side here. I'm going to pull this up, reapply the soapy water mix. Beautiful. You'll notice, see back here, this is that ripper thing I told you about that's really not included in the kits. Although I do have the graphic now, so I don't know if you request it. Maybe I'll at the time if I can find it, I'll put it on there. No problem. He wanted the 73s on the back because he's racing this boat. He needs to be able to see it. And again, justified here, which means can't really do much more. I can feel the tension on this narrow strip here, so I need to heat it up. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. I need to, this needs to come in just a little bit right here. There we go. Okay. I'm going to warm it back up. I'm already losing my heat. The vinyl does not hold the heat very long. I want to fix this down temporarily because it wants to push out on me. There we go. And then from there, I'll work down and we'll come in and you can see that is a smooth kiss right there, baby. That is nice. I got a little ripple right there because we've got a little bit of memory because this wants to kick in a little bit. Not a problem. We'll warm it up and squeegee it down. Keep your eye on it. It may pop back up because it wants to suck the water back in. Don't go race yet. Don't go take it out in the lake. And I'll go over that at the end here. It really needs to cure. Here's that bridge. You can see, let me get out of the way. You can see I get my finger underneath there, right? Because there's a valley. So we're going to warm it up. Well, listen. There, did you hear it? That guck. That's too warm. So I got it a little too warm. The other thing you can do is add a little bit more soapy water to your squeegee. We're listening. Still a little too warm. And there, I think it's cooled. That's the cap making that noise. There it goes. Needs to come out just a little bit. It's now stretched out enough because I've done this a couple times that I'm just going to pinch it and hold it there. Justified this way, the way I like it. Sorry that for the lean over here. It's tough to video this by myself. There we go. And we got it. Okay? Beautiful lines. Beautiful. Uh-huh. Perfect. Let's take a look, shall we? Nice, clean lines all the way through. Okay? Let us move on to, we'll do this top cap next. And again, we will spray it down with the soapy water. And again, my hands are clean. I'm going to pull the piece I need off the sheet. You really don't need to see me do that because on a boat this size, the pieces are self-explanatory. Really, there's no confusion. And I'm going to lay it upside down. And just like we did with the hull, the top of the hull, I'm going to spray this down liberally. This is going to lay just like this. Now you'll see the art is going to line up absolutely perfect. Most of it. And I say that because, again, we've got this dip here. And depending on how much we decide to stretch it, will dictate how the art lines up. But it'll be so close, you won't even really notice it. Theme depending. Okay, so I want to move this back a little bit so that you can see what I'm dealing with here. Okay. Pay attention to this gap and this gap up here. Notice my stickers don't stick together, which makes our life super easy. So what we're going to need to do here is we're going to need to stretch these two a little bit to make up the gap up here, which is a little bit bigger. I'm going to step around the back. I'm happy with this back here for the most part. We'll spray this down a little bit more. I am going to warm it up. And I want to get a little bit of a stretch out of it, I think. I think what I'm going to do is actually bypass, not worry about the front, make it easiest for you guys here. Let's get the back the way we like it, and then we'll stretch it to the front instead of splitting the difference. Warm it up. Notice I'm using my fingers to kind of hold it in place. Vinyl's warm, I can feel it. And we're just going to work it out so that our back is fixed down for us. Got a little bit of a ripple there. We will get that out with the heat. I got it too hot there. I burnt my finger. There we go. So you may be saying, well, why didn't you stretch, from the meat right here? It's really hard to stretch something that is this wide, okay? It's not hard to stretch something that's only 1.5 inches wide right there. And so I want to do the stretch in this area, right? So that we move this up. So let's do that. And I guarantee I'm going to have to respray, and I will, like so. You can never have too much soapy water. Here's that valley again, okay? You don't want to come down the valley. See, I got almost a 1/4 inch there now. That's what happens. If I bridge it, you can see I gained another 1/8 right there. So we're gonna warm it up from the top. I can feel it. I'm barely pulling on this, and I felt it move considerably. And it's like magic. There I'm lining up. I've got the gap I want. I'm going to try and just get a little bit more out of it. Now, on a piece this thin, and this 1.5 inches right here, stretching that, it will maintain the stretch for the most part. If you tried to do that to a 4-inch wide piece, it's going to contract back quite a bit. Okay? So I'm going to bring this up here in a second and show you the difference between this side. But I want to just get it fixed down here as best I can while I've got my hands on it. You can kind of see I had to work with it a little bit there. It went quick. I apologize, but I just had to get it down. This middle part here just needs to come out a little bit because I want to keep this gap right there nice and clean. This gap right here. Just want that 1/16. That's the beauty of these, is if you keep your gaps clean, the gaps don't matter. It's like I told my client on the phone, it's like a car door. Nobody cares that the car door and your seams in your truck body have gaps between the body panels. And the answer is because they're clean, they're even, and the eye doesn't mind that. Okay? So there we go. Let me show you the difference. You see it? I got that extra 1/8 stretch out of it, right? And look how clean that is. Let's do the other side before it. Got something right there. I don't know, just a little bubble in the vinyl itself, I think. Let's just check it, see if I can still lift this up. I don't think. No. The vinyl just has a little tiny blem in it, which I can only feel it. I can't see it, so no problem. Okay. We're going to stretch it out. We are going to warm it up again. Mirror image process. There we go. Do it again. Give it a good stretch. I'm going to fix down the front. Hold it with my hand. That. A little bit of water there. I need to get a 1/16 out of this tab right here. So I warmed it up, and I'm just trying to bring it across so that it mates up better with that. Let's do what I like to call the smudge. Warm it up, pretty darn warm, and you can take your thumb and you can push these seams together there, like that. We're going to do that here after I get this down in the back side. Again, I'm just making sure I know I'm on the back side here. I apologize, but the process is the same as we did on the driver's side of the boat. So it's going down. I need some heat. There it is. And taking my thumb and squeegeeing it out with my thumb, and it's down. Another little trick is if you get a pocket of water, like a puddle laying, take your rag and try and soak some of it up, because it'll want to suck back in until it's cured. That'll help. Make sure your rag doesn't have any debris or very fine dust, dirt in it, because it will scratch this PVC material, okay? Let's tighten this gap as much as we can. To do that, I'm going to warm it up. You don't want any water on that surface because you want your hands to really grip. Okay? I'm just going to take my thumbs and I'm going to just go like that. A bunch of water just came out, so I'm going to have to heat it up again and evaporate it. Just cannot do that, this smudge trick with soapy water, because your finger needs to stick to the vinyl. And I'm smudging, 1.5 inches of warm vinyl this way. And you can see that gap is disappearing, okay? I got a couple little bubbles there from my smudge that I'm gonna need to take care of here. go. I was still able to pull that up because there's moisture underneath there. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a pull and a tack down. If you overlap, perfectly fine. We will trim the difference. Grab my squeegee. Let's give it a nice clean squeegee down here. And this will, because of the process I just did there, it will stick immediately because there's no moisture left underneath there. Okay, I'm just going over it. I'm looking for any bubbles. I don't see any. I had one and I popped it. And there we have it. I am happy with the outcome here. Let's move on to this portion, which is a bit tougher. This is probably going to be the toughest part of your install, okay? As soon as I get this sprayed, I'm going to hold it up and show you what's going on here. I have engineered relief cuts here, here, and here, and you'll see why. Okay, here we go. Let me move this boat around a little bit better for you guys so you can see the back. There we go. Okay, we're going to bring this down, and again, maintaining the status quo with our gaps, make it look nice and clean. I have done all the hard work for you. You will see that this will, even for a beginner installer, look at the gaps. Everything's nice and clean. Very nice. It could use a little stretch right there. You see it? Right there. And we will do that. But first, I need to get down a fixation point. And that fixation point is going to be right in the middle, right there. And then I'm going to work down, and I know, you probably can't see me working down this other side, but we will do it on this side, and you'll see it there, okay? I can see why I'm short here, and the reason is because I'm just a hair this way too far on the other side. So it's not really an error in the cut as much as it is an error in my placement here. And those errors are going to happen. So it's good that it happened because I can then show you how I'm going to handle it. I'm going to warm it up. I've got a few seconds before it loses its heat, and I'm going to stretch it down. Just like that. I'm going to pinch and hold because it's wanting to cool. You see my ripple right here? It needed some heat. And it's down. Always work out with your, when you're pushing, pinching, work out. You don't want to work in. I know sometimes even I forget. I've been doing this for 20 years. And then you find yourself with a small bubble that you got to pop. Okay? Let me bring this around. Okay, I got the boat flipped around because I want to show you where we're at up here. I'm going to grab my soapy water and move my heat gun into position. Grab my squeegee. Let's flip it back and get it resprayed down. Okay? And I'm just checking that this is centered, right? So I have a nice even gap there. What I want you to do now is not fix that top flap down. I want you to go back to your sheet. And yes, I'm off camera because I'm grabbing this, which is your windshield graphic. Let's get it sprayed down. And I want you to place the windshield graphic in, and I want you to check your tolerances before we adhere this, because there's a lot of moving parts. As I said, this is going to be the toughest part of your install. You nail this, you're basically done, okay? This was designed to go over on the Cheetah, this little ridge at the bottom. There's a little nub down there. So we need to make sure that we hit that. And after I did that, I can see that we're getting to stretch this a little bit to get it fixed. So let's get the front of the windshield down first. See, I'm working my finger across there. I need to conform the vinyl across that. You can see it in the glare. Good. That needs to conform first. Just like that. See how it wasn't hard though. You see how easy it is? Because the material is just so thick that it's hard to mess it up. You know, the thinner automotive films, you see these guys and gals on YouTube doing a car wrap. That stuff's really hard because it's so thin. And there are no pre-cuts in that stuff, right? I mean, they're on their own. This is different. You know, what you're paying for here is my time, the days and days and days it takes for me to make these templates. So that it makes it easy for you to have a nice weekend project, okay? I'm giving it a stretch. There we go. I need to heat it up again. I can feel it wanting to pull back. But I think I got it. This top piece will probably be one of the pieces that you end up probably having to work with a few times and trim, because we got to get it stretched over this curved top. If you have a buddy that can hold that heat gun for you, even better. See how I'm just using my hands to sort of, I just stretched that thing 1/4 of an inch. I'm happy with the center, so I need to heat it up, keep it soft, keep it stretched until I can fix the center axis down so it doesn't pull back on me. And there we have it. This relief cut pinched in the way it was supposed to. Now I'm going to get this worked down. Keep it soaked up. Let's get some heat on it. See, I'm putting my thumb there so it doesn't fall on me. And I'm giving it that stretch. Okay, there it is. I can see I'm probably going to need to trim a little bit right there, which is good because I want to show you how to do it. A little bit more heat. Keep it soft. At some point, it's just going to sit and you're going to have, that's going to be your final push on it. You can't do it forever because when you heat it up and you're pushing it down with your thumb, it just bonds. And then you'll be relegated to trimming. Again, I'm not going to lie. This is a pretty tough piece up here. Take your time. I believe that I may be able to fit 2 of these in the kit run, so you'll have a spare. Not guaranteed, because I've only done his run so far. Here I got a little bubble, and I'm just going to pop it. I will go over more bubble popping before the video is over. Very nice, very nice. Things may seem chaotic when you, especially with pieces like this. Don't give up. It'll all come together. See, I still have time to pull that off there. Okay. So be it down. Look how poorly that fits right there. See? But watch what happens, the magic here when I heat it up. We're going to be right back in the ballpark. Okay. We're going to heat it up. Stretch it around there. Going to need to get some more stretch out of it. So I'm going to need some more heat. There it is. A little bit too much stretch, so I lift it up. Looks pretty good right there. Get this top edge mated up right there. There we go. So I got the top fixed down. Gonna just warm it up again, reduce that tension. Take my squeegee and we're gonna push down, just like this. Push down. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back and we're gonna clean up these edges a little bit. We're gonna do some smudging around like I talked about before, and we're gonna make that nice and even. Now the other side back here, lined up much better. So what happened here, the reason I had to fight this side, the passenger's boat side, is because if you recall, I said I rotated this incorrectly just a little bit, and it translated over to this side. When you see this other side here, you're going to be really surprised how well it came together. In fact, I can take, I think, see if I can get the cap off here. Yeah. See how this side worked out? Got a couple ripples down at the bottom. I'm still working out, but the lines are clean. See that? And then on this side, I had to fight it. So we're actually going to clean this up. There we go. I will clean that up at the end of the video. And we'll do it all at the same time, including handling any bubbles that are left behind that were missed. Okay, let's do the boat side here. I am going to grab, I keep a clean towel on hand to prop this up, make my life easy. There we go. There we be. And just like every other piece, we are going to soapy water it down. And I'm going to pull it off my sheet off frame, and I'll be right back with you. Here we go. I'm going to lay it on top of the boat and immediately spray it down. So I reduce the risk of it sticking. It's all one piece, okay? A couple things to note. On the back, there is a, put it in the black there, a relief cut. You will see why. And in the front, it's a split. What we're going to do is we are going to first line up the back here, leaving the same clean gaps. And we're just going to work our way off that rolled edge, keeping it nice and clean to about right here, okay? I'm going to need some heat. And I'm just using my thumb to sort of tack that down for myself. Make my life easy. I'm going to try and get my heat gun cord around. The trick here is going to be, I got to keep this up off the heat gun. So let's see if I can finagle that. Yeah, we'll get the cord tucked in there. And I'm just going to come back through. All I'm paying attention to right now is keeping the gap up on this rolled edge even. Just like so. Had some water pooled right there, and it looked like a bubble, and I thought, holy heck, how did I miss that? Okay, we're going to come up like this. Now, right here, you want to make sure it's definitely fixed down, because we're going to need to torque it down a little bit and push the boat forward. And to be extra sure, I'm going to keep my thumb there because this needs to kind of come down. There's kind of a compound angle right there on the boat. And so we got to give it a little bit of a stretch. And we're going to work our way back, maintaining that gap. Going to heat this up a little bit. Because of the way this compound angle happens and the fact that I design in a single dimension, some of the art's going to be off just a little bit. There's just nothing I can do about it. I try my best to hide it, but there's really no way to get these things to just not sit everywhere the way they flow. So I will show you how to cheat that a little bit in a second. You can see just that little tip. I don't even think most people would probably look at that and care because things are so busy, you just don't see it. But I'm going to show you. You can warm it up. And we're going to do the smudge. And I'm only going to get, I don't know, a 1/16 to an 1/8 out of it at most. And that'll be about it. But it's better than it was. Okay? At this point, it's kind of just hanging here at the bottom, right? So we need to get some water up in there because we're going to push down. Let's come back to the front. And you can see there's my chip that I repaired. John, I did my best with that. And we're going to keep working our way. And my goal here is to land this graphic for him over top that chip, which I'm sure we all have somewhere, even in the new boats. Yeah, it's going to land. Covered and protected, John. There it is. Look at this clean lines. You can see it, right? Kind of burning my thumb a little bit. I got the heat gun really back, so that's telling me I'm getting too much heat on the vinyl. So I backed it off a little bit. There we go. The pressure is now over because that top edge is down. That's the hardest part of the sides. You get that and you're golden. The rest of it just is going to flow down for you. For now, I just want that to sit there so I can work on the boat. Okay? I want to work down. Now, as you stretch this over this edge right here, depending on how much you heat it up, you may overhang on the bottom a little bit more than you would want to. Normal, and we will trim if need be at the end. But remember, when you get down there, you're over the water line, so any trim work you're not going to see if you're a sloppy trimmer. The big thing here is on this edge, you got to get some kind of a warmth and stretch around an outside edge. And if you don't, you'll get what's called like a tunnel in there of water and air. Of course, we don't want that, right? So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm warming it up, and I'm just giving it a little tug pull. And it's not slipping from the top, right? Because we did the top already. Nice and slow progress. Work our way back, keeping it warm. I got to get the water out of this flat edge that is molded into the hull up here, right in here, before I can give it the tug down. I need some more heat. I can feel it. It's cooled that fast. And there we go. Keep it warm. Keep on the back here. This rolled edge really flattens out, so it's not as critical to get that stretch that I talked about. Now I am squeegeeing in this direction instead of straight down because what I'm trying to do is feel and look for bubbles, and I don't see any. Now remember, we already did this, so there shouldn't be any. But what I'm doing here is I'm listening and feeling for bubbles. I don't see or feel any. Let's move on to this front piece. Remember, we didn't adhere it. I just kind of tacked it. Okay. And just like the rest, a little bit of heat. The rolled edge is going to end right there for us, right? Because we've got a relief cut there. So I'm using sort of the smudge method here to stretch it down over that rolled edge. It's cooled, but it's semi-tacked. Okay. This gap is everything. Just like all the other gaps. Keep them clean, and you'll have a rock star installation. There it is.